All right, colleagues, how are you today? Thank you so much for finding time to spend the morning with us. We're very excited. The Office of Academics, the Office of Schools have been working really hard to put together professional development for today and tomorrow, and we're so grateful for your generosity of time and talent in serving our students right here in MPS. The presentation today is being cast to some colleagues that are in other buildings, so that is why the camera is here, but you are safe where you are. I am Gabi Jimenez, your Academic Superintendent for Literacy, and I am joined by Sarah Yanucci from MGT. Sarah, do you want to say hi?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I am Sarah from MGT and excited to be here today and talking about some exciting upgrades that are to come.
All right, it is important that we start by naming what are the objectives and what are the things that we're hoping to accomplish today. Two things. We want to spend a few minutes really understanding an upgrade that is going to happen in relationship to our literacy materials from K-5 to 5th grade for the remaining of the school year. And we want to spend a couple minutes explaining why is it that we're upgrading the materials for the remaining of the year. After we do that, we want to spend a few minutes sharing with you some updates on the Module 4 guidance and tell you how is it that we have taken your feedback to be able to update Mod 4 and how is it that you can access the resources.
Okay. So I'm Sarah from MGT, and for those of you who don't know, MGT conducted the instructional audit in the spring. And now we are here supporting the district in implementing some of those recommendations specific to literacy. And so really excited to be here today and communicate some of these upgrades that we think are really going to make a difference for teachers and kids. And this is all couched in research around what we know about kids and reading. So one is that we know that every kid can learn to read. But a prerequisite for this, one of many, is that teachers, you need the right tools in order to make that happen. And not only do you need the right materials or tools, you need to have the proper support to make it happen. And so today is really about making sure that we have the right materials that are research-backed and based in the science of reading, and also really make sure that as we roll out materials that you are really supported. It's not enough just to get the right materials. We have to make sure that teachers feel and are supported and leaders, and we're all working together. This only works with instructional coherence across all schools when we all have a common vision and everyone is working together. So we're really excited about the progress and to share some of these updates today. Also know that after this presentation today, you'll get an email that will summarize all the changes and upgrades, and also will have a question form. So if you have questions, you'll have a virtual parking lot where you can submit those questions, and we'll publish a Q&A that will go out. We want to make sure that we collect those questions and answer those questions today. And I'll hand it back to Dr. Gabi Jimenez.
Thank you, Sarah. All right, before we speak about the upgrade that we are making for the curricular guidance for the remainder of the school year, it is important that we spend a couple minutes to explain how is it that we ended up here. So, in 2021, MPS did a very important thing, a very good thing, which was to recognize that, as Sarah said, teachers needed high-quality instructional materials, and at that point, in 2021, we adopted HMH version 2. And version 2 was perhaps the best decision that we could have made at that important time, at that historical time. Version 2 of HMH is founded on pedagogies that are closely related to workshop. So much so that we were able to, in 2021, adopt the reading component part of it, but not the writing component part of it. So please keep 2021 as a really important year in your mind. Now, fast forward to 2023. In 2023, the state of Wisconsin became the 36th state in the entire nation to pass legislation that was aligned to the science of reading, which meant that for the first day of the 25-26 school year, every single kiddo in the state of Wisconsin needed to be receiving instruction that was completely aligned to what is known to be the science of reading, or aligned to pedagogies that are closely related to research that tell us the ways in which the brain learns how to read and write. So many of you have watched videos in which I have been explaining the simple view of reading, this idea that word recognition and language comprehension are two variables that are interacting with each other so that our kiddos are able to read and write with meaning and comprehension. So, 2021, we adopted HMH version 2 that was founded in a workshop model. In 2023, the legislation passes. Then this is the 25, this is the 26 school year, and we needed to start the year. In order for us to be able to start the year strong, we spent time in two important shifts. We started integrating reading and writing because that is something that the brain requires to be able to engage in reading and writing instruction that results in increased academic achievement. And we explicitly started teaching for word recognition. To do that, our academics team in central office deconstructed version 2 and reconstructed into the most closely related option that we had that was connected to science of reading. This meant that we were writing modules in-house, and we did this using, as I said, HMH version 2, and it also meant that teachers were having access to structural literacy for the word recognition component and for word study that was exclusively virtually. All of this information and all of these modules were delivered using Google Docs. You have been very generous with your feedback to us this year. We have heard from you 3 different large trends, and I'm gonna name them, and I want you to give me a thumbs up if these are things that you have felt or things that you have communicated to your principals, to your instructional leaders, or that you have sent me an email directly on it. One of the things that we have heard is that that there have been a great amount of complexity this year in that you are finding yourself trying to access the teacher guides using a single screen, and at the same time trying to make sense of the student information and the documents, and that you don't have access to a student print resources for students to be able to have access to that daily instruction. We have heard that that has been a struggle for you individually, for your colleagues, and as a collective. We have also heard that having to navigate instruction using Google Docs in a district that is not overwhelmingly a Google district has been very difficult. Some of you said that clicking from one place to the other have also been a complexity and that it has been hard for you. And I see some of you tapping, yep, true story. We have heard that. And we have also heard a really, really important theme, which is that you are finding yourself in this very difficult instructional place in which you are uncertain as to whether or not you need to drive mastery for a specific standard in the guidance because you don't know, we cannot release the modules that were built in-house with enough time in advance for you to know if that standard is going to be taught in the future. And I'm seeing friends that are also saying, yep, true story. We don't know, we have no certainty if the standard is going to come back in the future or not. So thank you so much for that feedback. Thank you so much for being so generous and so candid with that feedback, because we have heard that feedback. And the meeting today, the conversation today is about us telling you what is it that we are doing on the back of that feedback. We're hearing from you that teaching with the guidance in the way that you currently have is unsustainable. So, we have some good news for you. These are the good news. We are moving forward. We have socialized with the board. We have socialized through your academic superintendents. Your principals have been advocating on your behalf. And we are going to transition away from the instructional guidance that is built in-house. We're going to transition away from version 2 of HMH, and we are going to acquire version 3. What is really exciting about version 3 is that it's version 3 of HMH. Think about it almost like a trade-in. Like in my house, we drive Hondas. So think about it like you're driving in your 2021, in my house, like a Honda Civic, and you're driving out with a 2025 one, right? We're training in our workshop-based curriculum, and we're driving out, and we're going to acquire the Science of Reading one that is completely aligned to the work that we're trying to do. This would mean that you will have access to teacher manuals, actually printed teacher manuals, to be able to deliver the integrated reading and writing as well as the word recognition. It means that students are going to have access to the decodable text, so you don't have to rely on technology and Chromebooks. It also means that all the printed materials, the student editions, are going to be available to you. Yes, we are hoping that these are good news, because we have heard from you, and we want to be absolutely certain that you have the materials that you need. What is very exciting about version 3 is that it does provide us for this integrated reading and writing and this explicit word recognition, so we don't have to build that in the back of the house. And of course, a feature that has been missed in the guidance that we have lovingly put forth, but that it has been needed, is that version 3 has a really well-articulated small group instruction and independent practice that is standards aligned for our students. So we're excited about that.
Great. So we're excited about these upgrades, right, to give those printed materials for kids and for you, and to have a cohesive, long-term science of reading backed curricular materials. So HMH Volume 3, fully aligned to the science of reading, all printed materials. They're expected to arrive in January. And then in terms of support, so we know that just getting the right materials is not enough. And so a lot of the work from here will be around how are we supporting you and leaders and everyone in implementing these materials. That will start January 26th, but certainly will not end, because we know we need repeated professional development opportunities that are aligned, that are strategic. And as part of this move too, is HMH coaches available to you also to help you with this change, which you'll be hearing much more about as well. So know that we are trying to be very thoughtful with the rollout in terms of not just one day, but needs to be a focused long-term plan to really make sure you feel comfortable with the materials. And you'll hear more about Module 4 from Dr. Gabi Jimenez, but in the interim, there will be a simplified Module 4 that will run from December 11th through January 22nd. You'll have an opportunity to unpack that module tomorrow, which you'll be hearing more about. But we kept it simple based on feedback from the other modules, and to really make sure we're planning ahead to support you in this change. It is not going to be easy, right, to have these new materials in January. You may be asking yourself, well, man, like maybe we should wait until next school year. And there's a couple reasons why we think that this is the time. So number one, we have really heard the current state is unsustainable. Continuing with only online versions this whole school year and the Google Doc modules just does not seem like an option. We have to get out of that current state. And number two, the sooner we socialize materials and get everyone comfortable with them, albeit it's not going to be perfect, we do not expect perfection this year, the sooner we'll be able to create that instructional coherence for kids. And so we're gonna move this year, get comfortable with those materials, roll them out thoughtfully, and hopefully, we're really excited about books in hands of kids, books in hands of teachers, and that really making a difference and having that long-term plan in front of you to really make a difference this school year and beyond.
Thank you, Sarah. All right. We are so excited that you're excited about this. because this is going to be really, really important for us. It's going to be really important for our collective practice, and it's going to be of high impact for our students. The academics team and the Office of Schools will continue to provide pacing guides, because it is not like you're going to receive the materials and you're never going to hear from us again. No. We're going to be alongside you and working alongside you to be able to provide a level of clarity in relationship to which are the lessons that are connected to a specific unit, which are the assessments, which are the ways. So a pacing guide will continue to be provided, and that will be in the same document that is the metrics. It is just that starting with Module 5, it is going to be quite simplified. It is also really, really important that as we are socializing this upgrade, that we are really clear organizationally that we are not engaging in a dual adoption. The only thing that we're doing is upgrading the materials that we have in order to be able to better serve you, to serve our students, and also to be in absolute compliance with the legislation, because we need high quality instructional materials that are aligned to the science of reading. And of course, please have the certainty that there is an army of people that is going to be in service of you. The academics team, of course, the Office of Schools, the academic superintendents. As Sarah mentioned, we have, as part of the package, secure HMH coaches that are going to be connected to each of the buildings, that are going to be able to be in support of you for 15 and 30-minute coaching sessions that can be scheduled from one day to the next for you individually or for your teams. And also, as part of the HMH coach support, we're going to be able to have HMH coaches that come to buildings to do a specific coaching and support. And all of this is, of course, in partnership with MGT, so we can have a very strong implementation. Because the plan is that we're going to start using HMH version 3 at semester. We want to be absolutely certain that each and every one of you have all the boxes have been unpacked, and that you also have enough time to be able to prepare for this transition. We want to be certain that you have professional development. We have made almost like a farewell Module 4. Like a farewell tour of the Module 4. The Module 4 was released last Friday, and it is in the instructional matrix. So if you have been in the matrix since last Friday or later on today, you can click in, and Mod 4 from K5 to 5th grade has already been released. Rather than having 30 to 32 tabs, it only has 3 tabs. So thank you so much for your feedback on that. Yep, it only has 3 tabs. Thank you for that. The first tab has the introduction page. It will have the standards. It's going to have the assessments. It has the icons for the readings, because that seemed to be helpful. And the second page of that introduction tab is going to have the pacing, and within the pacing for each date of the 20 days of instruction, there is a single link to the lesson for that day. Right? I saw ours in the sky. Yes, so a single lesson. This is the farewell tour. We want to be absolutely certain that we're closing the strategy strong. Please know that a lot of love and sweat and tears went into the creation of those modules. Feedback continues to be a gift. We are moving into version 3, but we want to be absolutely certain that you have something in the interim. So that is the first step. So the single lessons are linked in Spanish and in English. The assessments are also linked. The second tab is the word recognition for the English side of the house, for English word study. So it reminds you that you need to be connected to the Ed app, so you can click on the pages to be able to see the teacher materials. And then the third tab is word recognition in Spanish. So we hope that you enjoy it. This is a year of grace. Not everyone is on pacing, and that is perfectly fine. Mod 4 is, as I said, is the farewell tour of the mods, and it is created as a way to be able to provide you with some flexibility. So if the data that you have for your students is telling you that rather than engaging with Mod 4, you want to spend some time doubling down in some standards and skills that you believe your kids need, do that. If you want to use some pieces of Mod 4 but not all of Mod 4, do that. This is a year of grace and this is a year of learning. Use Mod 4 in a way that makes sense to you. At the same time that I am saying that, also prepare yourself and prepare your students to know that we're going to start Mod 5 with HMH version 3, right? So prepare, we're going to adjourn the practice, but we're all going to start at semester using HMH version 3 after we have a professional development and you have clarity in relationship to that strategy. Okay, so to the next steps. These are the next steps, friends. Tomorrow we are going to be offering some optional professional development. We have HMH coaches that have flown from all over the country to be in MPS tomorrow. We want to be absolutely certain, once again, that we're adjourning the practice of the instructional guides in the best way possible and that we're getting you set up into version 3. To do that, in the professional development guide, the optional PD for tomorrow is an invitation to come and join us to unpack Mod 4 with HMH coaches, the simplified version, and also to come and engage in a little bit of a sneak peek. If you want to come and see what version 3 is, if that will appease your heart and will help you enjoy the holiday long weekend better, come and join us tomorrow. We're going to be able to do some of those things. As I said, we have HMH coaches that have flown in to be able to help us with both the unpacking of Mod 4 and also to give you a sneak peek. I think that you're going to be really happy to see how version 3 has some features for which you're already really familiar, and you're going to be very excited about seeing some of the new features within it. And of course, as Sarah said, we are working tirelessly to plan and deliver the best professional development possible on January 26. Once again, with HMH coaches, know that we are going to spend a lot of our time for second semester unpacking version 3 in service of the World Recognition World Study, because that seems to be what is really new for us organizationally. And of course, we're going to get to the other components. So please know that you are invited, that you are welcome, that we hope to see you. If you have curiosities, as I said, of version 3, or if you would like to collaborate with grade level friends on Mod 4, we're going to be doing that tomorrow. As Sarah said, there's going to be an email that is going to be sent so you can catalog and send us any questions that you may have, and it's going to have a video so you can go deeply into the strategy of version 3 and some of this information. So thank you so much, and I hope that you have a lovely lunch. Thank you.